Charles, Louisiana. These are terrible numbers for this city that was already reeling because of 43 days ago, Hurricane Laura coming to shore, decimating this city, causing so much trouble. People haven't been able to get roofing supplies because of COVID. They're not making the shingles and the products they need to get these roofs put back up and get people back on their feet. So many people had blue tarps. We have video coming in from our fields here, or for our crews here in the field. Safely, they captured video before the sun went down of blue tarps flapping in the wind and lots of trouble around Lake Charles, Louisiana. We do know that tens of thousands of people evacuated Lake Charles because of fear. They were scared of what Delta might bring, so they headed west all the way to Houston, Texas, to try to get away from this storm. We know tomorrow morning, after the effects of this storm have pushed off to the northeast, we know people are going to want to come back and reassess. What are they going to find? Well, Lake Charles, they were able to clear more than 1.54 million cubic yards of debris out of this city in the last 6 weeks, but there was still so much more to clean up. And now we have insult to injury, Delta coming to town and possibly laying another major blow. We know it's going to be pretty bad as we head out tomorrow. Our crew is going to be doing storytelling across Lake Charles and this entire region, as these stories are going to be really horrible. People are going to come back and find out that all the progress maybe they made over the last 6 weeks was completely wiped away as Delta came through. The winds have been intense. The rain rates are intense. We have that flash flood emergency in place right now in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And Steph, in Jennings, Louisiana, I can tell you, Steph, conditions here, they might have inched a little bit better, but we are still getting intense rain and intense gusts of wind coming through here. We're on the western side of the storm, which is typically not as bad as the eastern side of the storm. But I'll tell you, Steph, It is no day in the park here in Lake Charles.
So let's talk more about, you were saying inches, and actually we're measuring in feet now when it comes to this storm just to the east of Lake Charles, where Justin is located. We have the Calcasieu police reporting a rain gauge, 16.5 inches of rain. In Lake Charles, a daily record of 9.07, and there's more falling, as you can see in those live shots. I know Justin mentioned that flash flood emergency, and if you go in depth with that flash flood emergency, what it tells you is it's eastern Calcasieu, western Jefferson Davis Parish. We're in Jefferson Davis Parish, but it's going to be west of here where we see some of those heavier totals. 4 to 10 inches is what the warning is reporting has fallen, and we could see another 2, maybe 6 inches of rain before all is said and done with this. And that's going to be a big story with those of you who are watching us as this storm moves inland. Our winds, as you can see, have calmed down, and I've been following the pressure reading to see if we've gotten any lower. Let me look real quick. 975. So, you know, our pressure down to 975.6, and that's the lowest we've had. 976.2 was the last thing I wrote down on my notebook. So 975.2. That pressure is still dropping, and it will start to come up once the storm goes to our north, because being that we're in the center of it, that means that you're going to see the lowest pressure. Let's talk about some of these wind gusts we've had. 81 miles per hour here is what we had for the strongest wind gust. Shockingly, around me, there's still power, though I know they're between Texas and Louisiana, some 200,000 customers without power. Lake Charles gusting to 96, and Texas Point, we're talking about the wildlife refuge there around Port Arthur, they gusted to 100 miles an hour. That's the highest gust we've seen so far. This system is going to continue to fall as it moves inland. So those of you watching us in the path as this is going off to the northeast into Mississippi and all, we have crews positioned to take you through the storm as it goes through, and then of